going on, guys? Welcome back into another video, and today it is the end of the month, and you know what that means. One, you got a Blu-ray haul, which you got yesterday, I think, when this is going up. Not positive, but I think yesterday. And then also on top of that, that means we are sitting and ranking all of the new releases that I saw in the month of October. And this month, we're back. I took a bit of a hiatus for the last few months. Didn't see as many new releases, but this month we are talking about 12. Yes, you heard that right. 12 new releases that I was able to see. Very excited to talk about some of these because I haven't done video reviews for a majority of these films. I think I did half of them, like 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 6 of them. So there are 6 films on this list that I have not talked about, some of them at all, and then some of them on video form. So that's what this series is for me to talk about every single new release I saw in that month, give you my little reviews, tell you what I liked, tell you what I didn't like, and give you my thoughts. That's what these videos are for. So today we are sitting down and ranking all 12 new releases that I saw in the month of October. We got some bangers. I talked about it. I was on a heater this month, saw a bunch of stuff that I really liked, and we're going to talk about it today. Before I get into it, go down in the comments, let me know what was your favorite new release that came out this month. There's a few contenders. It is not one just long shot winner. There are contenders here, so I want to hear what your favorite new release was that came out this month. And it's only going to get better. Oscar season's coming up. Christmas blockbuster season is coming. There's a lot of good stuff on the horizon. But I think that this, so far, has been the strongest month this year. Really enjoyed it. But I think without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at number 12 is Halloween Kills, unfortunately. It just was not good. I really did not like it. I think the acting is incredibly spotty. I don't think the writing is good at all. The only redeeming factors are the kills are brutal. Michael is scary, as he always is, but in the end, this is a very unmotivated film. I was not motivated to have any emotion to any of the characters. The acting was incredibly spotty, and it just didn't work. The best part of the 2018 version was Jamie Lee Curtis and her family and that kind of dynamic. They're pretty much sidelined the entire movie. They're really not in it. It's all these other people, and I get it. You're trying to connect to the original, but it didn't work. I said this in my written review on Letterboxd and on social media. This film begged to ask the question, you remember the good old days? Weren't those cool? Yeah, that's what they did in not a good way. I did not like this one. 66 out of 100. It's one of my least favorite of the year, I hate to say. And it comes in at number 12 on my list. Coming in at number 11 is Queenpins. I was actually really interested to check this one out. Thought it was very intriguing, and God, it wasn't good either. The writing's not great. It is the same thing as Breaking News in Yuba County, I believe is the name of it. Those are 2 films that I really wanted to like. Really thought could be intriguing stories, but both fall for the same thing. There is not a likable character in that movie. And in either of those movies, Queenpins especially, they're trying to make you like the main character, played by Kristen Bell, who I think gives a fine performance. It's fine. They're trying to make you like them, but you don't. They are extremely unlikable people. I was not intrigued at all. It's based off a true story in Phoenix, where I lived for 4 years, which is crazy, but it just wasn't good. There's no emotional attachment. You don't root for the main characters. The only real good thing about this movie is Paul Walter Hauser's performance. I think it's pretty good. The story is intriguing, of course, based off a true story. I'm a sucker for those, but it just is not a good movie. Sasha, I know if you're watching this, please watch it for yourself. Don't just take my review, take my review with a grain of salt. Go watch it yourself, because I know you were excited to watch it. Go watch it, and you may like it. It just didn't work for me. 68 out of 100, another one of my least favorite movies of the year, and it comes in at number 11 on my list. Coming in at number 10, a film I actually just watched today before I recorded this because I wanted to watch it, was Army of Thieves. It pains me because I was actually looking forward to this one Army of the Dead, you know, obviously, a big zombie movie, Zack Snyder, a really cool cast. Of course, you're looking forward to that one. But I was really looking forward to this one because, one, Dieter is one of my favorite characters of Army of the Dead. And two, I love heist films. I love bank heist robbery films. And that's what this is. Unfortunately, the writing is incredibly weak. It does kind of fall like the Queenpins and the Halloween Kills. Really, I mean, these first three all kind of have the same things wrong with them. There's no emotional attachment. It's easier with this one. This one is why it's above the first other two. Is you like Dieter, like he's a cool guy, you know, like you feel for him, but there's no real stake. There's no real emotional attachment, and with a movie that's over 2 hours, you got to build at least a little bit. You want us to cheer for the character, not just because he's a good guy at heart. It's not a reason to drive emotion and drive the motivation to like the character. So that was very weak for me. I think the heist stuff is pretty cool. This isn't a terrible movie, I will say that. The heist stuff's pretty cool, but it just kind of it fell a little bit flat for me. That's really all I got to say. 73 out of 100, middle of the road. It's fine, and it comes in number 10 on my list. Coming in at number 9 is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Oh my god, I have a lot of thoughts to say about this one. It's definitely better than the first. I saw the first one the night before I saw this one. It's definitely better than the first. The relationship between Eddie and Venom is the best part of not just the film, but it's the best part of this Venom franchise so far. That's what works, is like the old married couple type relationship and dynamic between Eddie and Venom. That's the best part. I think when that works, it lands. I think that when we are experiencing that, it's good. And I do like how they took that even a step further in this film and went further into that relationship dynamic. I like that choice. Woody Harrelson's having the time of his life, and it shows. Andy Serkis gives some nice direction. But in the end, there is not a lot of emotional value towards our villain. I didn't really like the story and how it went. Some of the performances are not great. I will say that. But overall, it was fine. I had a good time with it. I like the short runtime. I will say that. A lot of people were critiquing that. I enjoyed that runtime and that mid-credit scene. I'm still not going to spoil it. You can go check out my podcast where I get in depth on the mid-credit scene. Is awesome. It really is. I'm not going to say much more. You can go check out my review. I did a full review on this. Go check it out if you have not already. But I give it a 78 out of 100. It's not bad. It's middle of the road. I did enjoy it. And it comes in at number 9 on my list. Coming in at number 8 is The Many Saints of Newark. I was thoroughly intrigued by this. I had not seen The Sopranos. I was going to try to, but I just didn't have time, and that's a long series, and I'll get to it eventually. But this was fine. I was left thoroughly intrigued at the end, which is a good thing because this is a prequel to a TV series that is well acclaimed and well loved. So for it to leave me intrigued, having some more questions, was good. I liked that. The performances are stellar. I think they're really, really well done. I think the writing is incredibly solid. It's extremely cramped with exposition. There's no doubt. And people have been talking about this, and I kind of agree. You could have made this into a limited miniseries. I think you could, because you were trying to cram so much in to a short runtime. And I think that that's something that they fell for, and it just didn't really land for me that much. I think they did a good job with what they had. I think there's a lot of aspects that are good about it. I do just think that it is a little cramped. I don't think that the writing is incredibly strong in that part, but for a prequel to Sopranos, I know people are going to like it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I gave it an 84 out of 100, and it comes in number 8 on my list. Coming in at number 7 is The Guilty. This one was very, very interesting for me because I was incredibly interested in, one, the story. It's based off of it's literally an adaptation of a foreign film, which I do eventually want to see, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, directed by Antoine Fuqua. I was, safe to say, intrigued because I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he's one of the best working actors today. It's good. I think Gyllenhaal's performance is incredibly well done. I think the fact, like the direction from Antoine Fuqua, directing out of the back of a freaking van, is incredible. The story of how this movie is made is incredible. It's just amazing. And the story itself is too. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Even for a Netflix film sitting at home, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. The twists and turns do not completely work, but it did enough to leave me on the edge of my seat, kind of like, oh, what's going on? What are we doing here? It did enough. It did enough. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think it's very sharp. It's very gripping. It's very intense. And I liked that. Didn't really love the ending, but I digress. 88 out of 100. I really had a good time with it, and it comes at number 7 on my list. Guys, now we're getting into the good stuff. Coming in at number 6 is Last Night in Soho. I have not gotten a chance to talk about this yet when I'm recording this, due to I haven't filmed my podcast yet, which I'm going to do tomorrow. But God, this is a good film. Edgar Wright is a master at work. He is a master at what he does. Killer soundtrack, flashy direction, an absolutely beautiful backdrop. We're just sitting and watching Edgar Wright do whatever he wants, and do it so masterfully that it's incredible. Thomas Mackenzie is a rising star. I said this in Jojo Rabbit, and I'm going to echo it now. I think she is incredible in this. Anya Taylor-Joy, I think, is good. I know everyone loves Anya Taylor-Joy, and I think she's a great actress. I don't think that she's a standout performance here. I think it's Thomas and Mackenzie. She's the leading emotional part of this film. She is fantastic. I never lost focus in this film, and that is hard for me, because a lot of times when I'm watching films, I tend to get distracted. I tend to lose focus for at least a second. I didn't lose focus here. I was completely on the edge of my seat. I was gripped. I was locked in, and that is good filmmaking. The ending is a little sus, I will say. The second half of the movie the first half is incredible. I think the first half of this movie is incredibly well done. The second half it is good, but the entire package deal makes this an incredibly enjoyable time. I think this is Edgar Wright at his absolute finest. He hopped into a completely new genre for him and did it in such a way that was absolutely incredible. I really enjoyed this film. Absolutely fantastic. I gave it an 89 out of 100. So well done. And it comes at number 6 on my list. And for it to come in number 6 and for me to really rave about it, that means we saw some really good stuff this month. Coming in at number 5 is No Time to Die. Take a damn bow, Daniel Craig. You are a legend, and you are absolutely fantastic. This is an incredibly beautiful send-off to this iteration of the character. The action is incredible. I think it is incredibly well choreographed. The performances pack a punch. The direction and emotion are all incredible. Of course, we have issues with this film. You can check out my podcast with Sasha, or you can check out my full review to see the issues I have with it. But in retrospect, in the end, I think this is an incredibly satisfying conclusion to Daniel Craig's James Bond. I really, truly loved it for what it was, and I cannot get that score out of my head. I listen to it all the time. I gave this a 92 out of 100, and it comes in at number 5 on my list. Coming in at number 4 is The Last Duel. The Last Duel is why I love movies. The experience in the theater, while not boisterous and loud like in Avengers Endgame, it was tense. You could feel it. And I was in a theater with a good amount of people. You could feel the tension. Everyone was dead quiet. They were focused. They were intense. And that is all due to the filmmaking, the acting, writing, directing, all masterclasses. I've written about this. I've talked about this in podcasts. I did a film review of this, so go watch that if you've not already. I think this is a masterclass of filmmaking. This film is, from every aspect: performances, writing, direction, everything about it, absolutely stellar. Stand-up performances: Jodie Comer, Matt Damon, Adam Driver. You can't fail. You can't fail. The story structure is tight and compelling. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's an incredible piece of filmmaking. It's extremely well done. In the last 30 minutes, the duel, some of the best filmmaking, and one of the best film experiences I've had all year. It's absolutely fantastic. I gave this one as well a 92 out of 100. It just eked out No Time to Die, and it comes in at number 4 on my list. Coming in at number 3 is The French Dispatch. I loved this movie. I really did, and it's getting, different reviews. I'm not saying it's divisive. I don't think it's divisive. I think it's just getting some people like it, some people don't like it. And a lot of that has to do with Wes Anderson. It all has to do with Wes Anderson because he is who he is when it comes to his filmmaking. He's very quirky. His filmmaking style is different from anything we've seen from anyone else. It's very meticulous. It's very calculated in terms of shot composition and shooting. I think this is Wes Anderson's best technical film that he's done. I think from the cinematography, sound design, set design, everything involved with the technical aspects, I think it's the best thing he's done, technical-wise. He shined here again. And he did. And this is a very delicate, well-thought-out love letter to journalism, so I may be a little bit biased because I did go to journalism school and I did get a degree in journalism, but that's not it. The performances are delightful. Timothée Chalamet, this is his best performance of the month, and that is with another film that we're going to talk about later. Also coming out this month. This is his best performance. He is having the time of his life, and you can tell that he is giving in to the quirky nature of what Wes Anderson does. It was incredible. I think it's the best performance. I'm not just saying that because it's Timothée Chalamet. I truly believe that. I was completely invested. I love the story structure, how it's an anthology. It's 3 separate stories. It kept me on the edge of my seat, kept me on my toes, and it never made me bored, which was huge. Because a film like this could make me bored, and it didn't. I really loved it. Brilliant filmmaking from one of my favorite directors. I gave this a 94 out of 100. It comes in number 3 on my list. Coming in number 2. We got 2 5 stars this month. Coming in number 2 is Mass. This flippin' film, I almost wanted to use a curse word. This flippin' film is a freaking masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. It's like not in theaters anywhere. Why? Why is it not in theaters anywhere? Tried to look it up on AMC. There is not a single AMC in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, one of the biggest areas in the country, population-wise. There's not a single AMC theater playing this movie. And it is one of the best movies of the year. It is a freaking masterpiece. The writing, acting, directing, masterclass. Jason Isaacs needs to win this damn Oscar. He's not going to, and it breaks my heart, but he needs to because he deserves it, because it is a brilliant performance by Jason Isaacs. I am the conductor of the Jason Isaacs Oscar train. Toot, mother effing toot. He needs to win an Oscar for this performance. Oscars for all of them. I know Ann Dow is the one with the best odds, but she's not even my favorite performance. I think Jason Isaacs and Martha Plimpton have better performances than Ann Dow. I think she's freaking great. But the other two, like, where's their campaigning? They are phenomenal. Airtight script. Incredible direction. Directorial debut, might I add. Just brilliant. I saw this at Sundance, and I just was at a loss for words. It's absolutely incredible. I gave it an 89 out of 100, and it comes in number 2 on my list. Coming in number 1. It's Dune. I mean, what are we doing here? It's a masterpiece. I think it is a modern sci-fi masterpiece. It's a technical achievement from Denis Villeneuve. He constructs such a genuine adaptation to this incredibly dense and hard to adapt source material. And he does it in the best way possible. Acting, Timothée Chalamet, Jason Momoa, Rebecca Ferguson. It shines. They are incredible. The action is flawless, but it really comes down to the technical achievement and the adaptation. I think those are the biggest shining points here. While everything is a shining point, those are the biggest glaring shining points. It's the technical achievement that this film is, along with the absolutely incredible adaptation from Frank Herbert's novel. I'm incredibly excited for part 2. It's finally been greenlit. I don't know why it wasn't from the start. I love this film. I've done so much on this film. Podcast with Chris from Film Stock. I'm writing an article right now for Music City Drive, and more of a retrospective, not a review, on Dune. And I did a full review, so you can go watch my full review, please. Go watch it. I put a lot of time and effort into it. It's literally like the pinned video of my channel, so go watch it. I love this film. It's everything I wanted it to be and more. It's an incredible achievement. I love it. I gave it a 99 out of 100, and it comes in at number 1 on my list. Guys, that is it. I want to thank you all so much for watching again. Go down below in the comments and let me know what is your favorite film to come out this year. Please go do that. Also like and subscribe if you have not already. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I want you to have a great rest of your day. Have a happy Halloween. It may have been yesterday. I don't remember when this is going out. Have a happy Halloween. We're getting into the best time of year. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video.